What's poppin', homies? It's your favorite homegirl, Gossip Girl, and today let's talk about Karen and Michael Murray because they are on trial, which I don't think they should be on trial, but we're going to talk about it, okay? And I don't mind you leaving your opinion in the comment section, but please respect others and don't be nasty because any nasty comments will be removed and you will be blocked from this channel, okay? So let's go ahead and have a conversation. So I listened to the doctor's testimony and I listened to the sister's testimony. And here's the thing. I think everybody was failed here. Michael and Karen and the mother. I think all three of them were failed, if you ask me. Karen and Michael could barely take care of themselves. If you look at them, you can tell they could barely take care of themselves. Michael is sitting there. He's sitting there quietly, okay? He doesn't have any emotion. He's barely moving. You know, he'll squint his eyes a little bit. But there's something going on. This family has a lot of layers to it, okay? And I feel like Michael and Karen just have some type of mental health issue. Like they are mentally challenged, okay? Now, while he's sitting there, you know, looking the way he's looking, you know, just like he's there, but his mind is somewhere else. Karen is sitting in a chair and she is bawling her eyes out. She is upset. She's an emotional wreck right now. And you can look at her and tell there's something wrong with both of them. I'm not, you know, as children, I don't think they were evaluated because if they were, okay, they probably would have got back some type of diagnosis or whatever if they was evaluated. I think they have something going on with them. The sister already said they barely could take care of themselves. Well, if that was the case, why were they taking care of the mother? And the father was calling most of the shots because he was still living around this time. But he passed away November of 2019. And he had to have known that those kids that were still living with him, and they're not even kids, they're grown people, they're adults, they were still living at home. And you can tell something was wrong. But anyway, the sister left for college, right? And then, you know, later on in life, she got married, has a husband, and now she has children. So now she has a life outside of this house. She doesn't know what's going on 24/7 because her life now is of her husband and children. She said she did visit. She stayed in a hotel when she visited because the house wasn't in its best shape. You know, it wasn't that clean. It was cluttered and dirty. And here's the thing. If you're visiting your parents, you know, your family, and you notice, you know, certain things are out of place, why did you ask, hey, you know what, let's straighten up a little bit? Because that's a sign of them needing help. Let's straighten up. You are a family member. You are your mother's daughter, and your sisters and brother live there, and your father lived there, so you're a part of the family. Let's clean up a little bit. Let's get this house in order. You get what I'm saying? And she said it was always that way, but it became worse as the parents got older. Now in 2015, Sheila, which is the mother, had a stroke. She became less mobile. She could speak and she could still do some things for herself. The dad took care of Sheila. Okay, the dad had health issues, you know, himself. But he worked part-time and he was retired. The mom needed care that Karen and Michael couldn't give her. They just couldn't do it. So the sister said she had a conversation with her dad and offered to bring mom, you know, where she lived to take care of her. But he refused. And sometimes parents can be stubborn. You know, maybe he felt like, I don't want to put the burden on you. You know, we could take care of her here. But he knew, I felt like he knew that the kids well, I gotta stop calling them kids because they're not kids. Those adults, they couldn't take care of themselves. Why would you put that on them? So they probably did what they could do, and he did the rest. So the sister visited her mother in February of 2019, and she didn't look well. She was in the bed covered up. So here's my thing. You didn't think to turn back the covers and say, hey, you know, what you got going on here? Let's fix you up a little bit. If the house is smelly and it smells like urine and God knows what else, you didn't think to pull the covers back from your mom and say, hey, let's see what's going on here. Are you know, do you need to be cleaned? You need to be checked? Nothing, because in her mind, she thought everything was being handled, right? She assumed that, you know, she was being taken care of. July 2019, she visited her mom, and she was still in bed, and she didn't look well. Now, remind you, the father is still alive around this time. The sister had got a phone call from her sister or her dad. I'm not sure which one it was. And they were trying to get the mom out of the bed, you know, but they couldn't. And the mother hit her foot. So they took her in because it was worse than what they thought. She visited her mother while she was in ICU. Now, she said the doctor looked angry, and he started telling her, you know, what happened to her mother, and that it wasn't matching up with what the family said. And the sister said she didn't know things were that bad. So let's go back a little bit. In 2018, the mom had a stroke, right? She was left in the hospital, and after the hospital, she went to the nursing home. The father made the decision to take care of her at home because he couldn't afford her living in a nursing home. He could not afford nursing home care for her. So he took her home, and he was taking care of her the best way he could. Mom had issues. She had some blood clotting issues, okay? The dad had kidney and heart issues. He had a heart attack before, and I do believe they say he was on dialysis. Now, of August of 2019, the sister went to the house and looked around. The house smelled like urine. You know, this case is very disturbing. It really is, because I feel like a lot of stuff was going on, okay? I feel like a lot of stuff was going on. I can't say too much about the sister. Now, when I was looking in the comment section under Court TV's video of her testimony, they was laying it on her. They were laying it on the sister. You know what I'm saying? But how much can she do? But at the same time, if you know your mom is bedridden, sometimes you gotta take matters into your own hands. So I feel like she could have done a little bit more than what she did. But I don't know. I'm not gonna give her too much of a hard time, but I just feel like there was a lot of stuff going on with this family that we still don't know. So the sister said to one of the investigators that Karen and Michael could barely take care of themselves. And she knew they couldn't take care of their mother the way that she needed to be taken care of. Which I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. I don't know. I just feel like Michael and Karen should not be on trial for murder. I don't think so. I don't think they should be on trial for murder. The father's name is Edwin Murray, and they called him Tony, and he died in November of 2019. So after he died, they took care of the mother the best way they could. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. I feel like the mother should have had some type of services, like home care services. The doctor should have wrote it down and maybe call adult protection or something where she didn't have to go back to the house. You get what I'm saying? But I don't know. It's just sad all the way around. But this murder trial, I don't agree with. I don't think they should be on trial for murder. So let me know in the comment section, what do you think? And I'll talk to you guys later. The verdict is in. Siblings Karen Murray, who is 49 years old, and Michael Murray, who is 43, were both found guilty of first-degree murder and aggravated neglect of a vulnerable adult in the death of their mother, Sheila Murray. Sheila was 68 years old when prosecutors say she died at the hands of her children. In August of 2019, Sheila died after she was admitted to the hospital, prompting the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation to look into the circumstances of her death. Investigators said they determined Karen and Michael were responsible for the abuse and neglect that resulted in her death. Karen and Michael were indicted and arrested in March of 2021. The indictment, reviewed by Court TV, does not specify any acts of neglect or abuse, but alleges that they occurred between April 4th, 2019 and August 10th, 2019. Both siblings face a potential sentence of life in prison without parole when they are sentenced on September 30th, 2024. So the sister name is Sonia Henry, and she said that her siblings was trying to care for their mother, but they were in over their heads. So if you knew they were in over their heads, somebody could have called adult protection, right? Oh man. I just feel like if they're going to be sentenced to life in prison without the possible chance of parole, I don't think they should be sitting in prison. Put them in a facility where they can get some help. Something is wrong with Michael and Karen. They are lacking a lot of things. You could look in their face and you could tell they were still living at home. They were still living at home. The father had a lot of say in this. And I if he didn't pass away, he will probably be the one on the stand. I just don't understand this. I don't. But anyway, this is the verdict. The verdict said they are guilty. And September 30th, I just read, 2024, they will be sentenced. So I will come back with the sentencing of Michael and Karen Murray. I don't like the turnout. I don't. I really don't, because I feel a way about a lot of things. I have so much to say, but I would not. I would not. Because it's not going to change anything. It's not going to change anything. And some of you may agree and some of you may not agree. And that's fine. But to me, the verdict came back too soon. And if they're going to spend the rest of their lives locked away, it should not be prison. It should be in a facility where they can get some help. Now, the sister, Miss Sonia Henry, she can go on and live her life, because who knows if she'll ever visit them. I just feel some type of way about her. But like I said, I'm going to let it rest. And they were found guilty. So, you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you later.